حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعين به ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق أجمعين سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب رب العالمين سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. اللهم اجمعنا به وبهم يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون إلا من أتى الله بقلب سليم. آمين. Dear brothers and sisters, today's khutbah is about a very important topic that a lot of us take for granted or neglect. A topic that we all know about, yet very few, they really put this topic in front of their eyes 24/7. And it is very dangerous to neglect this fact, which in Arabic it's called حقوق العباد, the rights of people upon you. We have حقوق الله and we have حقوق العباد. The rights of Allah Azza wa Jal upon us, and those rights, most of us know them already. Allah is the creator, we are the creatures. So we can summarize the rights of Allah Azza wa Jal in one word, which is Islam, the total submission to the word of Allah, to the law of Allah, to the orders of Allah, which we do what pleases Him and we stay away of what He told us to stay away from. Simple. A lot in it, but this is the main rule. Be submissive to Allah's rules. That's what Islam means, taslim, total submission. What about حقوق العباد? The rights on us for people. We have to start with this ayah, so we will understand what Allah Azza wa Jal is expecting from us. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم. We need to have taqwa. Without taqwa, we cannot talk about this topic. And taqwa means what? Fearing the anger of Allah, staying away from what displeases Allah, following the orders of Allah. We have to be very careful. So now, if you want to be among muttaqeen, you have to maintain and you have to watch the rights of Allah, which we spoke about, and the rights of people. The rights of people, I found so many ayat and so many hadith that spoke about. One hadith has summarized every point we want to know for today. I'm going to say the hadith, and inshallah we'll discuss it and we'll finish with it, because this topic is humongous, it's huge, and it takes tens of khutab to finish. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, and this is in صحيح مسلم. أتدرون ما المفلس؟ قالوا المفلس فينا من لا درهم له ولا متاع. قال إن المفلس من أمتي من يأتي يوم القيامة بصلاة وصيام وزكاة ويأتي وقد شتم هذا وقذف هذا وأكل مال هذا وسفك دم هذا وضرب هذا فيعطى هذا من حسناته وهذا من حسناته فإن فنيت حسناته قبل أن يقضى ما عليه أخذ من خطاياهم فطرحت عليه ثم طرح في النار والعياذ بالله. Simple explanation. Rasulullah sallallahu, the best of Allah's creation, the one who guided us to haqq, gathered his companions and said this beautiful hadith. He asked him a question. أتدرون ما المفلس? Who is the person who is corrupted? Or the person who, what's the best word? Bankrupt. Who is the person who is bankrupt? They said, the person who is bankrupt, or the poor person, in some other way of to say it, is the one who does not own any dirham, which means money, no money, wala mata', and no furniture, no assets. Assets would be the best word. So anyone who does not have money or assets, he is poor, he is bankrupt. This is the simple meaning of muflis in any language you say it. And Rasulullah said, Al-muflisu min ummati, from my ummah, among my people, the Muslim community, the Muslim ummah, the bankrupt, the poor person is not the one who doesn't have money or assets. He is the person, or she is the person, who comes Yawm al-Qiyamah with a lot of salah, which alhamdulillah we're performing salah today, and most of us we do salah, right? But this is dangerous. A lot of salah, a lot of siyam, a lot of zakah, mashallah tabarakallah. When we see someone who does that, we say mashallah, he's a sheikh. Salah, siyam, zakah, and that's a lot of them, like not just the fard, the sunnah as well, and even more. But he comes Yawm al-Qiyamah and his record contains, please pay attention to this and teach it to your children. And the record, the book of deeds, the book of a'mal contains قَدْ شَتَمَ هَذَا. He have mentioned people in a bad way. He sweared at others. Oh, you are this and this and that. He called people names, as they say nowadays. Now, just look at yourself. Do you do that sometimes? We all do sometimes. And some of us do it a lot of times. Especially in the West now, with all the movies and the songs around, between each and every word, there is always a name that is a bad thing to say. Okay? شتم هذا. وقذف هذا. Oh my God. This is a very dangerous one. قذف means he have abused others or accused others with something that either not true or he is not sure of. If someone was mentioned in front of you and he said, oh, that person is a big liar, or she is this and that, and maybe it is true, maybe it's not true, maybe you don't know. All of them are called قذفة. And the word قذفة means thrown. So it is as you have thrown a stone or thrown a problem or thrown a musibah on that brother or sister. And does it matter if he or she whom you have spoken about is a Muslim or a non-Muslim? It doesn't matter. Even when you talk about nation, about country, when we say all Egyptians are this, all Palestinians are that, all Pakistani are this, all we stereotype, we just do qadf all the time. Wallahi, brothers and sisters, this is dangerous. We do it and say it without really knowing the consequences. The hadith is saying, you come Yawm al-Qiyamah with a lot of good deeds, but look, your book has some bad words, shatima, you're swearing at others, or you call people names, and قذف هذا. What else? وأكل مال هذا. Alhamdulillah, this hadith has everything we do. للأسف. يعني sadly, it exposes us. وأكل مال هذا. You have taken money of others without, unjustified. You could be a person who sells stuff, or repair, or give a service, and you know many ways that you can overprice people. This is aklu mal. You have eaten, and imagine in Arabic, akl al mal, you have eaten the money. It is a metaphoric way to show you that You are putting things in your body, and if it's haram, what kind of body you're building with haram money or haram food? When you ask people to, for help, I want to borrow this or this money, and you give them a date, and then you escape that date and you don't remember it, you don't put it in record, that's akil mal. And that person could need his money back or could be shy for asking. Oh my God, haqq al-nas, the rights of people, it's so dangerous, and most of us have fell into this. We can talk a lot about each point, but the time is limited. Akl al-mal, even the haqq of your children, if you can afford giving them in a certain living or standard, and then you're stingy, you're greedy. Your wife, her haqq, when we are in trouble, we sell their gold, we take their savings, and then inshallah I'll give it to you, and we take her for granted. And she's my wife. I mean, where am I going? No. When it comes to the rights of other people among you, it has to be taken super serious, because Allah Azza wa Jal will not forgive you for it unless they forgive you for it. Brothers and sisters, we have heard this a lot, but we have to put it in action, and we have to continue to remind ourselves and teach our children about it. وَسَفَكَ مَا دَمَ هَذَا. And these days, سَفْكَ dam means shed the blood of people. And what more blood we have seen being shed in our life than the last 10 or 15 years. War everywhere, ظلم everywhere. In Iraq, in Syria, in Egypt, in Palestine, in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, in Kashmir, لا حول ولا in China. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. In Libya, name it. Remember, not only those who have shed the blood will be punished and they will pay the price, but also those who have made them do this, those who are covering them, those who are supporting them, and those who are keeping their mouth shut, not saying the truth about them. We're all going to be asked and questioned for our role in seeing bloodshed in anywhere in the world, Muslims and non-Muslims. And if we don't do anything about it, even at least dua, even at least awareness, we are part of this responsibility. وَضَرَبَ هَذَا. And he have hit or beaten this person. And sadly, we still hear and find and receive complaints almost daily in our masjid and in all masajid, where parents beat their husbands beat their wives, wives beat their husbands, limitedly, but some wives are aggressive. Both beat up their children, and children bully others by beating them up at schools, and this is a growing problem, especially in middle and high school. This is a right. If my son, your son, anyone who have bullied someone, it's in school, in street, in neighborhood, wallahi, they're gonna pay the price, and pay it big. Pay it big. It doesn't. Oh, I was young, I was teenager. Alhamdulillah, it's not a big deal. No, it is a big deal. In this masjid, one of the people whom you know and you see, I'm not gonna point him back. He came to me the other day, and he told me, when I have a friend who is praying with us in this masjid, and he is a little bit older, and they are from the same background. That 20 years ago or 15 years ago, he used to bully me when I was in school. And I saw him walking around. I just remembered that thing, and I told him, I remember you used to bully me in school. Wallahi, it happened a few months ago. And then he said, that person did not take what I said seriously. He said, oh, come on, we were kids. Never mind. And he just walked away. He told to me, did I do something wrong? I said, you know what? I wish you have forgiven him. That would be the best thing to do. But if you didn't or you couldn't, it's your right. And him walking back and not take you seriously, that is a mistake, a haqq he will pay. And if I will see him, I'm going to talk to him. People's rights are dangerous. Bullying is a big issue. And bullying, is it only hitting by hand? If you look down upon any person who have less money, less ilm, less beauty, smaller house, smaller, older car, and you just gave him that small look, whether you mean it or not, wallahi, 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 you will pay the price. Because if that pain he got, you know, you looked down upon him, you belittled him or her, and it happens even between sisters, you have more children than others. La hawla wa la quwwata billah. Brothers and sisters, this is a very dangerous topic. The rights of people, even their feelings matter. It's too many examples that we can get, but we have to go through the hadith. فيعطى هذا من حسناته وهذا من حسناته. Allah عز وجل حرم الظلم على نفسه وجعله بين العباد محرما. Allah made dhulm haram. Upon us? No. First he made it haram upon himself. And he is above haram and halal. He told us, but yet to make us feel how hard and how important is this matter, he said, I made dhulm, oppression, haram upon me, Allah Azza wa Jal, upon himself first, and then upon us. So Allah, the real essence of justice, it's all, we learn it from Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and Allah Azza wa Jal told us that he himself is sticking to it. What does he do? He take from your hasanat. MashaAllah, you're happy with your salah, your siyam, your zakah, your hajj, your umrah, your sadaqah. You know, everybody says, MashaAllah, the sheikh came, the sheikh went, this guy, MashaAllah. Yeah, Allah knows. And the malaika have written. Allah takes from your hasanat and give it to that person you just gave that small look and you did not pay attention to it. And you take from your hasanat and give that person who you said something behind his back. Even if your neighbor who has maybe done something wrong by raising the radio and you know in the Sunday or had a party, go talk to him. Don't talk behind his back. He will be having the right upon you. A neighbor that was waiting for someone to teach him about Islam and you did not bother to even talk with him about Islam, he has a haqq upon you. Your child who you're supposed to raise as a good Muslim and you did not, Yawm al-Qiyamah you're going to pay this, and the child will say to Allah Azza wa Jal, خُذْ لِي حَقِّي مِنْ أَبِي. Take my right from my father. He did not teach me Islam. He did not give me a good name. He did not even choose a good mother for me. These are all authentic. These are not my opinion or anyone's opinion. These are hadith and ayat. So your hasanat will be wasted to pay back the rights of people. What if they finish? قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فإن فنيت حسناته قبل أن يقضى ما عليه أخذ من خطاياهم فطرحت عليه ثم طرح في النار. And if the hasanat finish, you don't have any more thing to pay, don't worry. They have done a lot of wrong things. They have sayyat. Now you will take their sayyat. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. I want to get away. I want to be running away from my own sayyat. And now if somebody lied or drank alcohol or made an oppression or killed someone, I will pay them. That will be upon my shoulder? Yes. Yes. Of course they will be punished for their sayyat as well. But Allah will give you some of their sayyat because you did not pay their rights back in dunya. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فيا فوز المستغفرين فاستغفروه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان يوم الدين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما آمين. Oh Allah, make us among those who hear the talk of guidance, the words of Allah, the words of wisdom, and apply it in their life and our life. Ameen. قال الله تعالى in the Quran أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ونضع الموازين القسط ليوم القيامة فلا تظلم نفس شيئا وإن كان مثقال حبة من خردل أتينا بها وكفى بنا حاسبين. Another very scary, wallahi, fact. We all run away from calculating our funds and our ins and outs and go give it to Mr. Expert, the accountant, who is supposed to know everything about numbers. Allah is the best and the top accountant who counts your deeds, which are available in your book. وَكَفَى بِنَا حَاسِبِينَ. Enough. You don't need more of Hasib, the one who counts your deeds more than Allah Azza wa Jal. And of course, the Malaika who've been appointed or been given the duty by Allah Azza wa Jal to calculate. In this ayah, I cannot really, there's no time to discuss it. But go and look for it, Surah Al-Anbiya, Surah Al-Anbiya, ayah 47. Read the ayah and read the explanation. مثقال ذرة, the smallest, مثقال حبة من خردل. The smallest thing that you can see with your eye is the khardal. The khardal is the smallest seed of the mustard seed. Even if your mistake was that small, or your good deed was that small, Allah brings it in front of you, make you see what you have done, and you will be questioned and accountable for. What can we do? رد المظالم إلى أهلها. Pay back before you leave this dunya. Just in 1 week, 3 of our dear friends have passed. I've been going from one place to one place and pay my condolences to those who, to the relatives. Some of them, wallahi, one of them was a couple of months ago here and he's only 58. He went to Turkey, he got COVID, قدر الله ما شاء فعل, and he died just a few days ago. So we don't know when we're going to die. So pay back before anything else. Whatever tawbah you do, whatever good deeds you do, salah, siyam, Allah can forgive whatever between you and Him. But Allah will not forgive you on behalf of everyone. And anyone could be a cat. A woman during the Muhammad ﷺ's time went to Jahannam because of a cat. So even animals have rights upon us. Trees have right upon us. The weather have right upon us. If you smoke, if you throw garbage everywhere, this is the right of the universe upon you. It's serious. And teach it to our children. And this is our akhlaq. Islam is not only salah, siyam, qiyam. These are the main things. But it's also a way of life. Pay attention to your wife, your children, your neighbor, your employees, your employer, your community, your country, your government. Do not think if you run away from any of these rights that you're fine. What if I cannot find the person whom I spoke behind his back to ask for his forgiveness? What if I couldn't find someone whom I borrowed money for when I was in university 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago? And alhamdulillah, the ulama said, first of all, pray that Allah Azza wa Jal will make you find him. Because the only way to guarantee forgiveness is he or she forgive you or ask you for their money back. That's number one. Number two, if you couldn't, make dua for them, and whatever that you owe them, give it fi sabilillah and mention their name. I give sadaqah $1,000 for someone I took from long time ago, and I couldn't find that person, so that is sadaqah on his or her behalf, wishing, hoping that Allah will accept, and that person Yawm al-Qiyamah will forgive you. Third, learn a lesson from that thing, that do not forget people's right. And become a new person who remind himself, herself, and others about it. I'm going to stop here, and there's a lot more to talk, but this is important. Huququl ibad, the rights upon people, the rights on you, not only the rights of Allah Azza wa Jal. No forgiveness on that unless they forgive it. And don't think a small thing is a small. There's nothing called small. Even if you said one word about someone, you have to go back to that someone and tell him, this is what I said and I'm sorry, please forgive me. Just in very limited cases, some ulama said, if that confession could lead to a bigger problem, do not confess. If that confession could lead, example, you and your wife spoke about your own brother and his wife in a bad way. If you go to your brother and his wife and tell them this is what I did, and that could lead to qati'at rahim, to a real separation of the family and a huge problem, you don't have to tell them, but make dua for them, be good to them, make it up in the best way you can. That is just because, this is sensitive. Sometimes people will just take it literally. Oh, he goes to this employer of his and he will say that I did not attend on time a couple of times, or I stole $1,000 10 years ago. And if the employer will go to court and put you in jail and make a big deal of it, that's a bigger problem you're getting to yourself and to him. But you still have to do your best to pay back before you die, because Yawm al-Qiyamah, even two sheeps, two animals, if one have oppressed the other, Allah make them wake up from death, take the rights between them, and then die again according to the hadith, and they are all sahiha. اللهم اغفر لنا وارحمنا، اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا، اللهم ارحمنا فوق الأرض وتحت الأرض ويوم العرض عليك، اللهم اجعلنا ممن يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه، اللهم اهدنا إلى خير الهداية، إلى خير السلام، إلى خير الأعمال، اللهم اجعلنا ممن يتابعون حقوق العباد ويدفعونها، اللهم لا تقبضنا إلا وأنت راض عنا، اللهم اجعلنا نربي أبناءنا على الصلاح والهداية والفلاح والنجاح، آمين آمين. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. قوموا إلى الصلاة يرحمني ويرحمكم الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله، حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح، قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا. Make dua during your sujood. This is the closest point you get to Allah Azza wa Jal when you're having sujood, so make dua. Allahu Akbar. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين، إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين، اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين، آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر، إن شانئك هو الأبتر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين، إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين، اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين، آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد، لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Dear brothers and sisters, don't forget the haqq of the masjid. The house of Allah Azza wa Jal here in Canada depends only on Allah Azza wa Jal and on you. Allah opens your heart and make you support the house of Allah, so Allah will keep this place for us and our children and generation to come, and all the hasanat that happens here, it will come to your book, which we all need to go to Jannah and to pay for the debts that we are having. May Allah, inshallah, make us clean of debts before we die. Inshallah Azza wa Jal. So please, please, please give fi sabilillah. And follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and we have a Dar Foundation channel. We have Sheikh Banat channel. Jazakallah khair. And it's important to share the videos. All the khutab we have here are on YouTube and on Facebook, and it's important to make others hear it and expose and inshallah make share for the knowledge. May Allah bless you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.